The WoW forums. It's good to be back in the greatest cesspool of toxicity and stupidity that exists in the WoW community. I love making these videos, and I'm really excited for this episode because if you haven't heard, there was a recent patch that hit for retail WoW known as 9.1.5, and that patch has brought with it a lot of controversy. Now, just to be clear, I could sit here all day and read over posts like 9.1.5 positivity thread and look at people saying, I love this patch, it's great, it's so good. Or I could look at posts like this one, or this one, or this one, or this one. There's a lot of these if you haven't noticed. Lots of people really don't like this patch for a variety of reasons, but I'm not going to be doing that. The point of this video isn't to showcase people loving this patch or hating this patch, because you know what? Everybody's going to be on their own side of the fence. If that's what you're curious about, read the patch notes for yourself and form your own opinion. No, the point of this video is to showcase the truly strange takes, the weirdest opinions that people have about patch 9.1.5. What are the pressing concerns of the WoW general discussion forums? What do they care about? What did they want to see that didn't make it into this patch? What did make it to this patch that they aren't happy about? Today, we are going to find out. And for starters, I want to pose a very simple question. Let's see if you can get this one correct. So, out of all of the things that happened in patch 9.1.5, which of these do you think is the biggest concern that the forums have? Is it A, I don't give a shit that other classes and races got customization, I wanted my race or class to get customization? Is it B, Blizzard, why did you not buff my spec? My spec sucks, we need buffs now. Is it C, oh my god, I thought that I would be able to freely swap between all my covenants at 80 renown, Blizzard please fix? Or is it D, holy shit, why did they make Legion Time Walking release in December? I thought I was just going to be able to resub and play it right now. Well, the answer to that question is E. Authenticators? Really? I have been on WoW since day one. I get giving people extra bag space as a reward for signing up for those stupid things, but forcing people to get one by taking away important gameplay options is infuriating. Authenticator mandatory to even modify the title of a pre-made group? That's already too harsh. So from now, most of the groups will have the same name? Sanctum of Domination Heroic? I already see a lot of groups with the same name. Where's the diversity that you're trying to promote? Can't put titles in Group Finder anymore. GG, Blizzard. I can't put a title or description in Group Finder because it says I don't have an authenticator on my account. I had an account since Wrath. It's not getting hacked. I don't need one. Quitting because forced to use authenticator for custom LFG title. There is really no use in playing the game as the main thing I do is host rated BG groups. It's extremely inconvenient to use the authenticator for me. Given this situation, I do not see myself continuing to play this game. Customer service doesn't nor devs care. About the now mandatory authenticator. Hello, I've been playing and really enjoying this game for a while, and I'm super bothered by the latest update. Mainly, the fact that a player must download an app authenticator to run to use the game functions fully. Sometimes a group doesn't already exist for the boss achievement, whatever you're trying to do, and I have to start a fresh group. Now, as far as I can tell, my status as a customer has been downgraded through no fault of my own. It's like they want players to leave. Grouping up is already difficult. The LFG was already so poor, and they managed to make it even worse. Seriously, who is making all these decisions? You can't edit this field without BattleNet Authenticator. This really bothers me. Content was already paid for in a subscription-based package, and taking the ability away to form Mythic groups takes away what the customer already paid for. While the security feature is not forced, you can't require it if you want your users to fully experience World of Warcraft. They are not part of your cyber team. How they want to handle their accounts is on them. The Authenticator. I know many of you will be surprised by the arrival of this monstrosity, but it has arrived. It doesn't care about Halloween. It doesn't care about Thanksgiving. It also doesn't care about Christmas. It doesn't care about your authentication. I don't have a picture, but the Authenticator will come for you soon. It eats phones and doesn't even care. And Blizz wonders why its fanbase is plummeting to rock bottom. So with this new patch now, it's no longer possible to create an LFG group unless you're authenticated. So I try and get authenticated even though I don't want this on my phone. But Blizz says they can't authenticate me because I use Mint Mobile, and they don't consider Mint Mobile to be a real phone carrier like AT&T. So they just tell me unless I'm willing to switch phone carriers, that I'll never have this function again for a game that I not only paid to buy, but also pay a monthly sub for. This game that I paid twice for that I can't even use the only feature I use all day, every day. So I tell Blizz, cancel my account and refund my game time from when you implemented this, since I haven't been able to play your game since. They tell me no. All sales are final. We just want your money. Needless to say, I am pissed, and I just want to leave this horrid game forever with this kind of customer service. There are way too many other games to play out there to deal with this, but I refuse to just give them another 3-month subscription for a game that they won't even let me play all the features on. Blizz says I can just go play another part of the game, like PvE. Why can't I just PvE all day, every day? It's my own fault if I want a feature in the game like LFG PvP. And if you scroll down and look at the responses, I find this gem. Ashley, it's your learned grammar. I love the forums. And finally, this person provides the best take with authenticators and the forums. I think Blizzard should just add authentication to the forums. Besides the added benefit of security, we could also kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because the people complaining about the authenticators wouldn't be able to get on here and make thread number 4067 about not getting or wanting one. Love it. But all joking aside, there really are a fucking ton of these threads. I just picked out the funniest. There are so many posts that are like, oh my god, I don't want an authenticator, ree! And I kind of was surprised by this, because out of all of the stuff to potentially complain about with this patch, because don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, but out of everything that you can complain about, you choose this? The authenticators? The thing that Blizzard put in place to solve botting? That is really where you draw the line in the sand? I will never understand the people on the WoW forums. This is just peak stupidity, man. Peak fucking stupidity. And speaking of which, it wouldn't be a WoW forums video without one of these. After 16 years playing, I quit. I'm starting thinking to quit WoW, or almost the official version retail. It just get boring. Too many nerfs from world PvP toys, items, etc. Censored of emotes, paints that nobody cares, so many broken classes. Reports from bots and nonsense excuses about silenced accounts or banhammers. Poor lore, no love of the old characters, new races that already exist in game, or anything about the gameplay. I considering to explore new worlds. Wink wink. But I don't know. I love the game, but it's just this is too much. There's nothing to do in-game, actually. I got 4 months game time, but I think I'm just going to uninstall and let it go. And if it wasn't good enough, we have our friend Celebrate popping back in to say, yeah, regular WoW game, it is too hard, is different. Do you know how get in WoW Classic? Do you want to be friends? WoW Classic, good job. And they go on. It's not over. They say, yeah, it probably gonna be a lot fun. We can do Dungeon? Quets. You wanna do then to do you do WoW Classic. I can get in 3 moth. I gotta delete because do competitor don't wanna works. It wanna go wow as baby. I'm gonna move along here. Alright. Legendary pay-to-win base items. Okay, let's talk about this now, because actually, you know what? This is a legitimate problem. I was really excited about all the quality of life changes coming in 9.1.5. I farmed Torghast multiple times for Soul Cinders so I could finally craft different Legos and experiment with different builds. Finally farmed enough Soul Cinders, went to the AH to pick up a few base items, and every single one is over 100k. Why is this in the game? I will be forced to buy a few WoW tokens if I wish to try different builds. This is atrocious design. This guy says, just craft them yourself. Terrible take. Absolutely horrible take. I'm curious what this guy says. No thanks, we'll just unsub again until this is addressed appropriately. Pay to win shouldn't be in the game. Okay, so let's break this down. I'm pretty sure if I scroll down through this thread, yeah, people are saying it's more expensive to craft it yourself. Do carries, terrible take. Make it not a player market. Yeah, people are just arguing between whether or not it's worth it. All right, so here is the problem with pay-to-win legendaries. Now, I wouldn't say it's pay-to-win, right? I don't know if I would call getting the base legendary item pay-to-win per se, but it is kind of like a lot of people will say it's a pay-to-progress, kind of. Pay to get something faster. Because yes, it is entirely possible that you can get the base legendary items in a reasonable amount of time without actually buying a WoW token. Hell, I've done that multiple times. But here's the thing, I've been playing this game for years, I have tons of gold stockpiled, it was very easy for me to buy these base items. I've said this before and I'll say it again, for the average player, this is absolutely a problematic system. The fact that in order to get your best in slot legendary item, you need to pay hundreds of thousands of gold in some cases, the prices have gone down, but before it could be that bad, in order to actually get your best in slot legendary, that's a problem. This isn't something that a lot of people can do. And honestly, it's very clear that the only reason this does exist is because Blizzard wants to push WoW token sales. There is no other way around it. Whether or not you think this is a serious problem, like this guy, where you're just going to unsub until it's addressed again, or you think that, yeah, it's not a problem, just craft it yourself, whatever, it is clear that this is a toxic system that does harm the game for a lot of people. So I actually do agree with this guy's point for the most part, in terms of it being a bad system. Now, this post says, there are exactly 0 groups up for Tazavesh. Checked on both my ally and horde characters. What is going on? Well, here's the thought. It might be because Tazavesh came out months ago, and the best loot that you can get from it is 233, and most people who actually need that loot either already got it, or struggle to really form a group for it, because generally speaking, doing a hard mode run requires a lot of coordination, which isn't something you're going to find in Pugs. So, yeah, probably the reason why there's 0 groups up for Tazavesh. I don't think it's a grand conspiracy. Next, we have, Darkwind Fair was last week, not this week? Who did that? I thought it was always the first full week of the month. Though Google thinks second Sunday of the month, which was never true as far as I know. First Sunday of the month was true. I know, calendar button, but Dark Moon was the only thing I routinely look ahead to and was always the first full week of the month, so I never hit the calendar button. Bank Alt was 10 months from the blimp and Exalted Rep just off pet battle tickets. Pretty sure I got everything else worth getting. Honestly, nothing too special about this post. You know, they just got their dates mixed up, and they even said, yeah, you know, I screwed up. I forgot to check the calendar. But, I saw the Darkwind Fair and just, I felt like doing a pirate voice. So that's why this made it into the video. And this one's starting off strong with the title, Covenant Swap is a lie! So in 9.1.5, Blizzard told us you can freely swap Covenants. So prior to the half patch, you grind 7 different alts to Covenant 80 and decide to try a swap. Boom, you're Covenant 1. All your stored anima, gone. But oh wait, you can buy an item, and by buy, I mean not free, to get you instantly to Covenant 40. But wait, there's more! You can now grind all over again from 40 to 80, meaning, again, not freely swap at all. What a joke. To say I'm disappointed at being lied to would be a massive understatement. Your developers are terrible, and you lied to all of us. This falls into the category C that I mentioned earlier, of people who kind of just for some reason expected that they were going to be able to immediately hit Renown 80 at the start of the patch. So, maybe read the patch notes a little bit. And at least this person's honest, because they start their title with, should have read patch notes. Well, was planning on coming back and playing a bit more actively on my ult, but that turned out to be an oversight on my part. I'm Renown 80 on my main. On my priest, I was at Renown 40 and switched to Night Fae, but only got up to Renown 12 before I lost all desire to level that nonsense, so I just stuck to my lock. I was hoping that this patch, due to already being 80 Renown on my main, that I'd be able to just seamlessly switch to my priest and boost Renown to 80. Well, I misread. Back to playing everything other than WoW. Sigh. And yeah, okay, well, you misread. As you said, should have read the patch notes. Sucks to suck. And it wouldn't be the forums without a post complaining about class balance. 9.1.5 equals World of Windwalker Monk. Windwalker Monk is doing 10.0 expansion DPS now in Mythic Plus. One Windwalker can do more damage than 4 other player combined, and they only have 1/3 threat of what Warrior or Paladin has. Yeah, as this person says, hyperbole aside, they are kind of a problem. Like, look, Windwalker monks, I get it, they're pretty broken, but I wouldn't say they do the damage of 4 different DPS combined. I think that's a little bit excessive. And here we have great job fixing the game, Blizz, which is obvious sarcasm. You have time to remove things like slash spit, but can't balance factions after 15 years, can't make obvious changes to PvP that people were calling for since beta, can't include things like ranked solo queue for PvP, which games like League of Legends had 10 years ago, and you still haven't figured out how to implement it. I can tell you right now that a large portion of people that unsubbed were Alliance players. Just look at the number of people playing Horde at max level compared to Alliance. It's literally 72 to 25. You managed to ruin a key aspect of the game, faction balance, by giving Alliance nothing for over a decade. What's the plan now? Admit WoW has failed and move on to something else? Here's an idea. Balance the game instead of doing drunk Congo lines at Blizzard headquarters. Yeah, so I'm just gonna move on from this one. Yes, this post. This is one of the ones that inspired me to do this video in the first place. I couldn't forget it. Worst raid tier yet. Shame that Billions, I mean Blizzard, with all its billions, can't put together a changing raid environment in the 15 years or so they've been making games. Should have named the Sanctum of Domination the Sanctum of Blah and Meh. Got him. Change Sylvanas' name to Sylvanas, let's see how hard we can mess with this idiots until they hate this game by putting a soft 2 phases and movie that takes 8 minutes to get past before you can practice the stupid phase 3, which is really just blah and meh Windrunner. Oh, and name all the other bosses, Terragru, Reskin 1, Reskin 2, Reskin 3, and so on, because it's really the exact same formula as all the previous raids. No inspiration, smiley face. My thought to this is no more scripted raids and no more DBM. Every pull is different. Maybe not different abilities, but maybe different timers and CDs for the bosses. Maybe leave LFR normal and heroic as they are and make Mythic dynamic. Or hell, just offer dynamic difficulty. So this says absolutely fucking nothing, as I'm sure we can agree. Having dynamic timers and dynamic CDs, it sounds like this guy is asking for there to be random overlaps on every single Mythic boss, which, as anybody who progressed on any sort of fight like that, like Mythic Jaina Phase 1 can tell you, no. I would not like that, please. That is not fun. That is just annoying. Having to reprog the exact same phase over and over because you just get bullshit overlaps? Not good design. You're a fucking idiot. Now, I got baited by this title a little bit because it says, yes, I am angry that, and, you know, that kind of makes it sound like something really important. But this guy goes on to say, the WoW devs continue their war on flying and gets away with it. This game has hotfixes for to be politically correct, but this crap goes unaddressed every damn X-Pack. This matters to me. This affects me. I speak only for myself, but others may feel as I do. If as dev you hate this feature, then leave. If as a dev you have a problem with people doing your content too fast, then maybe you are the problem, not the players. If Blizzard is really going to clean house at every level in their company, then things like this that are important to myself and other who share this opinion need to be addressed also. And yes, I know that this is crap all compared to idiots that thought sexual harassment was a good idea, just to make that clear. /rant. Man, what the fuck do I even say to this? Like, we have flying in the game? What do you mean, war on flying? I don't understand. I'm just gonna move on. Next, we have Mythic Plus group issues. There isn't a single Mythic Plus group issue that can't be resolved by the keyholder making friends or finding a guild and doing Mythic Plus with them. Blizzard can't force you to make friends, nor can they make friends for you. This is a you problem that you need to address. Complaint, key levers, stealth resolution, play with friends or guildies. They shouldn't abandon your key like a pug will. Complaint, troll that trolls groups. Stealth resolution, play with friends or guildies. They shouldn't troll your group like a pug will. Complaint, no time to make friends or join a guild. Self-resolution, join one of the many discords or communities directed at Mythic Plus where players play the game at all hours. You can make friends or find a guild utilizing these tools. Complaint, not enough tanks or healers. Self-resolution, make friends with tanks or healers. Find a guild, join a discord with tanks or healers, join a community, or reroll your own tank or healer. Complaint, nobody will invite me because of the spec or class I want to play. I refuse to play another spec or class. Self-resolution. Play with friends or guildies. They will group with you. If you're pushing really high keys, then you need to understand that some specs and classes mesh better. Complaint. Literally anything else. Self-resolution. Stop playing with pugs and find some friends and guildies. I feel like half of his points were just play with friends or guildies. Which, I mean, honestly, you know, accurate statement, but like just make one line, say, hey, if you're having these problems, play with friends or guildies. Don't do this whole complaint self-resolution thing. That seems a little bit excessive. This post just says, I miss being spit on. It made PvP and such much more interactive. Cool. Moving on. This is another one of those where I see the title of Sylvanas Lungs and I say, oh, well, I kind of want to see what this is about. And it says, the last cutscene shows Sylvanas can be choked. Is there anything in the lore that justifies this? Did Blizzard really overlook this detail? I'm kind of glad that this post is about lore, because this isn't exactly what I was expecting. However, something like, I wish Tyrande and Sylvanas would take turns choking me, is exactly what I was expecting. So with that, let's just let's move on. Ian interview. Kind of a weird thing to say, Ian. Imgur Link, and can you imagine how fired this guy would be if he said this about any other group of people? Huh. Okay, I'm curious. I remember seeing this one a while ago, but it was just like downvoted into oblivion, so I didn't check it. Recognizing that the game industry has certain skews, male-dominated is one obvious, especially in design. We need to work harder to build and find the qualified candidates who are out there. We can't just open up a position, take the first couple dozen resumes, look through them, and pick someone out of that pile, because we may just get a couple dozen white male, oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm not, nope, I'm not touching this one. Alright, Blizzard is completely spineless. I mean, seriously. Local reagents, is this what he's doing? Okay. Shouldn't these be a 100% drop? Kind of hard for the Razor Wings to fly up there without a spine. Okay. Alright. You know, this guy got me with the title. Alright. Well played, sir. Well played. And it wouldn't be a forum post video without one of these. What would you say is the weakest overall class at this moment? Accounting for all their specs in Raid, Mythic Plus, and Instance PvP. I asked my friends, but we don't participate in all content in WoW. Therefore, we didn't have enough to go off of. Still, 2 of us said Priest, 1 said Hunter, but again, we don't know anything. So one friend asked me to make a thread, and here I am. Ides of March says, according to the forums, the class you currently play. Which, yeah, that's about as accurate as it gets. Alright, you know what? I don't even need to read the rest of this. We're gonna move on. Lyseon says, I have reached renown level 80. I now wield great power. I'm fairly certain that this was an intentional pun, and Lyseon, I applaud you. Brilliant. And while this is all I prepared for patch 9.1.5 posts, I would like to start a trend going forward at the end of every single WoW forum video, where I showcase one absolutely brilliant post that just doesn't really fit with any of the themes that I've made these videos on. Last video, I had the one about the guy cheating in PvP, making a post bragging about it, and then getting banned for win trading. And this time, I present to you Furry Used in Nastygrams by Ruku Retsia. I've been seeing this happen more often. I'm getting called a furry, which is the stuff of cringe from their point of view, and I just find it interesting. Foxes are discreet and sneaky in their behavior, and in my world PvP business, it's just coincidental that that's how I operate as a solo Marks, but they're serious predators when it comes to what food they get. I don't get credit for actually world PvPing like a real fox, but they insist that I'm trash, that I cheat, and that I have a complex. I know they're not invoking the meme, they're really criticizing this race itself. Never mind that I like a 15 to 30% heal every 90 seconds and a mark/recall ability every 10 to 60 minutes. Never mind that they're similar to goblins, which I still play mine for legacy. I am not deterred by furry, but rather encouraged. Getting your butt handed to you by a race representing a lesser carnivore in the animal kingdom would be an embarrassment of one's inability to survive. I'm sure none of you Alliance likes to get owned by a furry. Well, there's options like get good, get gooder, not being a boostee, growing a backbone, turning war mode off, overwhelm me with more flags, etc. From Method's website, I already play the worst race for this class/spec, but if I'm convinced that my race is not the problem, I don't see a need to change it. I still love goblins, but their racials could use a revamp. Yeah, bullshit. So I'm just saying, my race is the least of your concerns if I bested you, because there's actually better racials for PvP in other races. People would just hate me more if I owned them with those. So be thankful for what you have, ungrateful alliance. And I don't think I can find a response more perfect than Bracelides, who says, "Dear Diary, today I woke up and chose to baffle general discussion." But anyways, that's it for today's forum post video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to throw it a like, and if you want to see more stuff like this, make sure to subscribe. If you already are subscribed, I appreciate you too. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.